KPMG, by the way, as everybody knows, professional services, advisory services, you know everything about everything that's really going on in corporate America. So we really wanted to talk to you about AI and some of the survey data and things you've been learning lately. So we're in this transformative moment where AI is coming into the world and we're all trying to figure out what it means. Can you give us a snapshot in the workplace right now of where AI is, where it isn't, how people are using it, and what's happening in the workplaces?
Yeah, so I'll do it from two perspectives. One, what we see advising clients, and secondly, our quarterly pulse survey, which just came out, which provides really recent information. So you see in this survey, 93% of CEOs and business leaders that are surveyed saying that generative AI and AI have already improved or enhanced their long-term competitive position in the market, has improved their strategic planning, and has made their strategic performance better. So that's pretty fascinating. That's almost unanimous. You see another piece of data that says that CEOs from one quarter ago have said that they're going to increase their AI spending by 30%, with more confidence around what's happening in their organizations. And really importantly, it's being adopted within organizations. So the survey revealed that about 60% of all employees in these organizations use productivity tools on a daily basis, and about 60% use knowledge assistance multiple times during the week, which says that it's really going mainstream in large and medium-sized organizations.
Can you talk a little more, Paul? You just used a couple examples, but using AI, what are the most concrete ways, the most concrete functions at this point that people are adapting?
So there's no doubt that anything involving the customer experience, it's really a great technology. Touching customers, front office, call centers. Increasingly, it's being used to develop software and automate software, routinely speaking. But the truth of the matter is that agentic AI is getting us to the point now where 60% of companies have it in the pilot phase from this survey. And what we see all the time by helping companies, we helped one large financial services company recently develop a front office, or do a front office transformation using Salesforce, Agentforce technology to really change the way that they face the market. And so the important point is with agentic AI and these agents that companies are developing, it is going to touch every operating model or business process in the organization, because the software, the enterprise software companies, the tech companies are putting the agents into their software. So you're going to have to use it in the future. I mean, of course, you could opt out, but what companies are finding and what employees are finding is it's making their business processes more efficient and effective, hopefully. And if it's not more effective, then you're dealing with some risk. But it's certainly going to be pervasive throughout the entire procure to pay, order to cash, almost every business process there is.
And it's genuinely efficient in a certain way. I remember when we all remember when the internet debuted, and it was the magical tool, but we didn't imagine life with 400 emails a day. We aren't seeing AI have those kind of side effects in that way for companies where new kinds of work are created, even as old are displaced. It's genuinely seen as an efficiency tool for these companies. It's in their current processes.
I would say efficiency, but sometimes we lose sight of how much more effective we might be able to be too, when it comes to the amazing things these augmented large language models can produce in terms of deep research. So it's both efficiency and its effectiveness of the workforce. It's really causing people to be upskilled in the workforce today.
So we're at a moment, of course, of a lot of uncertainty. There's economic uncertainty, uncertainty about the effects of tariffs, sort of a broader policy uncertainty, which predates the current administration. It's been a feature of government in this town for a while. How are CEOs or companies weighing AI and making AI decisions against that backdrop? Does it have a tendency to make them, embrace AI more rapidly? Are they more cautious? Like, how are those factors interacting?
Yeah, what we're seeing with our clients, as I mentioned in the survey, we're seeing increased investment in generative AI and AI for a couple of reasons. One is everyone's seeing that they can potentially do more faster, more efficiently, for lower cost within the organization, the back office, the middle office, the front office. There's no doubt that the technology is made with people developing agents and personas, industrializing them. It is really making companies more efficient. And in this world, we're all trying to be more efficient and create more capacity to invest. That's really important. Then you have the complexity side of things too. So for instance, we have a tax platform called Digital Gateway, where our clients use Digital Gateway with embedded AI for many different parts of their tax organization. But one thing we've recently developed to deal with complexity is something we call the Digital Gateway Tariff Modeler. So companies can input with our help and insights the current tariff policies, the modeled tariff.
It updates in real time,
It
right?
updates in real time. That's the key, yes. And so you have something like that, and you have other uses of it, for instance, in modeling supply chains, which is really complicated in today's world.
Yeah. You talk about company efficiency, and sometimes that's a euphemism for job cuts. And a big discussion around automation for some time now has been, is this going to be a job destroyer? And optimists, of course, say it will create some new roles, but realistically, right now, I don't know where we are in that cycle. What's your honest view of what effect this is going to have on employment and jobs?
Well, I'll always give you my honest view. And part of it is I don't know. So let me explain what I mean by that. So there is no doubt that what we're seeing at our clients, what we're seeing in the economy, just imagine today the world economy without AI, generative AI, how much it's produced in terms of economic activity is just amazing. And we think that, and we continue to think that, and I think that over the long term, it's going to promote job growth. Having said that, the nature of the jobs, the activities that people are going to be doing beyond, let's say, a 2 or 3 year time horizon is becoming less clear. Where we're confident is that the U.S. economy, the world economy has been very resilient. We have shown over the course of decades an ability to reimagine what people do and move them to more valuable activities. We think that's going to happen, and that AI is going to create more growth in the economy in our businesses. But having said that, I also believe that beyond a year from now, there will be situations where entire jobs might be replaced by AI. And it's going to put a real premium on ensuring that we upskill, reskill, train talent, which actually in an economy like ours, where we have a structural imbalance in our workforce, with a lower birth rate, with less people going to college, with the other challenges in demographics, we're going to need some technology to mitigate some of those risks too.
I mean, I realize you're not coming in this with an advocacy point of view, having said it, but since you raised it, when you talk about job reskilling, job retraining, is that a private sector thing? Is that something that you think governments, either state or federally, should be thinking about, given the drama of the AI wave? How do we? That sounds like a certain massive job that we have to get done as this technology.
I think the private sector has already shown some excellence in this area. We've been at this for quite some time, the last several years, with different emerging technologies and advancement in technology. We've moved people from one aspect of the organization to another. And I've heard certain business leaders say, I don't care what you majored in, we can train you. And I think that is the case, that we feel like we're well equipped to help really well-educated people learn how to do different things. I think that's why our economy over the course of time has been so resilient, has been so effective at getting people to do more creative and different things in their careers.
It would be hard to go back into 1996 when we were learning the internet and imagine influencer as a job. We wouldn't have known what that meant. There was no YouTube. That's the kind of thing.
Cryptocurrency entrepreneur or whatever. Yeah. There are so many different ones nowadays. A lot of shiny objects.
So you may have touched on some of this, but to wrap up, between what you see in the survey data and your own interactions with clients and CEOs, which you have every day, what would you say is the most common concern you hear from executives about this moment for AI, and what are the biggest opportunities? What are the things that get the most excited?
Yeah, we did another survey recently which illustrates a concern, and that is that this is a survey of consumers, not of business executives, and it determined that 54% of these consumers in the U.S. Are using AI at work secretly. And that's a big concern because it's not subject to the governance and the risk architecture of the organization. So it is data privacy, data security, that's the biggest concern. Quality of the data of the organization ranks right up there with those concerns, and then just generally, will my employees adopt it? But it's really beneficial to ensure that you have your own private, safe, secure environment for this technology to make sure your client's data isn't getting out of your boundaries. And then when it comes to the opportunity, I mean, the opportunities, the growth of this technology is just exponential, and we're not even harvesting a fraction of what's already out there today. We talk about artificial general intelligence, which is coming in the next 1 to 10 years. Nobody can agree on when it's coming. But to me, the opportunity is in the rapid evolution, advancement of the technology. It's getting better every day with multiple different platforms, and it's creating opportunities to, whether it's drug research or something in the healthcare field, or it's just automating your business processes. It's creating tremendous opportunity to do things more efficiently and effectively.
I mean, let me ask you, it's a slightly personal question, but you've been an executive for a long time, you've been in business for a long time. You talked about reskilling. How are you reskilling yourself to understand AI and understand these new technologies? And how do you advise other executives how to learn it, how to think it? Do you devote time to it? Are there apps you're using? Are there books you're reading? Because we all have to make that adjustment.
So I have a large personal budget for AI subscriptions. I recently made me crazy. I'm paying $200 a month for OpenAI's Deep Research Pro, ChatGPT Pro, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity. I use all of them for personal use, and then we have our own KPMG safe, secure environment. So I would never use for personal use something with a client situation. But I think it really pays enormous dividends for everyone to use it outside of work and to test different ones and to really, I listen to various different podcasts like the AI Daily Brief, Hard Fork. I try to just immerse myself in AI nowadays.
Yeah, it's a challenge for everybody, and it's a moment for a bit of humility because learning it is pretty important. Paul Knopp, thank you very much for sitting down today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.